How should dungeon masters handle granting expensive material components for spells in their campaigns? This is a hard question without a really clear answer. 5th edition doesn't have an official wealth by level curve, so there's no explicit expectation of how much money your character should have at any given time. I reverse engineered one up on rpgbot.net, so if you Google 5e wealth by level, I should come up. And you can use that as a general guideline, but if you're relying on the random treasure tables, your players should gradually get enough treasure that they will be able to afford to buy those expensive material components. And honestly, I'd say just give them the means to convert the gold into whatever diamond powder or whatever they might need, and that will give them enough to cast their spells. The expensive material components on spells are there to prevent a lot of spells from becoming an abuse case, from becoming a huge problem in the game. Like Revivify, it doesn't cost a ton of money, but it works very quickly. You can use it in combat, and that's frequently enough. But if players could cast Revivify for free all of the time, then death has no threat to the party because all it costs to fix is a spell slot. Of course, we're seeing a ton of new ways to make Raise Dead free to cast, but just ignore that. There are other spells like Hero's Feast costs 1,000 gold pieces to cast, and that is expensive enough that it's not realistic for parties to cast that every single day. They might do that on a day where they're facing a significant enemy to get condition immunities, resistance to poison, expand their hit point maximum, all of those things, but you can't expect them to have that every day because 1,000 gold pieces is a lot of money. 5th edition really doesn't have a lot that you can do with gold, which is super frustrating. They tried to turn the Bastion system into a gold sink and it didn't really work. So really beyond low levels, once everyone can comfortably afford full plate, the only thing you're going to use gold for is those expensive material components. And most of the time that's not an issue, but there are a few standouts where it becomes a problem. So just try to stick to that wealth by level curve as much as you can. Use random treasure generators if that's helpful for you, and just keep a general idea of how much gold the party has and make them actually spend gold on expensive material components. For the inexpensive stuff, like the copper coin for detect thoughts, like you don't need to keep track of those. Just they have a spell component pouch, they have a spellcasting focus. You do not need to think about it any further. It's more important that they use their hands than that they track whatever bits of garbage on a spreadsheet.